Hello friends, it's Karla here today with Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. We are going to make a sparkly, shiny card today using foil 3 ways. We've got lots of fun Therm O Web supplies as well as some other goodies here. So here's a look at the card, which sparkles and shimmers in the light and is very beautiful. We have some Therm O Web Transfer Gel Duo. We have some adhesive transfers. We have some Easy Cut adhesive, which is a double-sided adhesive. And then we have our beautiful shiny foils. So this one is the sparkling silver Gina K Fancy foil, and this one is the gold Deco foil. And we have some craft and carrier sheets, which are great for using in the laminator, as well as a non-stick craft sheet. We have some adhesives from Therm O Web and iCraft. So the tape runner, we have some foam squares, some pixie dots, and then we have the Ultra Bond liquid adhesive. Here's some Robin's Nest Creative Dewdrops in metallic. And then we have some supplies from OLFA Crafts, our scissors here, our craft knife, and then we're going to bring in the grid cutting mat and grid ruler. We also have some great supplies from Prism Studio, the reverse tweezers. We have some nesting dies, the rectangular and the circle, and those both have a really nice stitched detail edging on them. And then we have some cardstock, some gold foil, and some purple cardstock. And then we have a Lavinia stamp stencil. We're also going to bring in some zebra click art markers. Here we're going to add a little bit of stitching detail to our card base. We've got some pixie tape, and we're going to adhere our die onto that Prism Studio cardstock and then run it through, and you can see the really nice stitching detail. I brought in my waffle flower media mat, my stencil mat. This is great for just holding down your stencil and your cardstock, and I added a little bit of that pixie tape. Now we're going to apply the Transfer Gel Duo. This is a really cool product. It's like a paste, but it is not quite as thick as you would think a paste would be. Everywhere you apply this paste, after it dries, you're going to be able to stick your foil to it. And so I'm just taking my time with a palette knife. I'm spreading it all over the background because I want it to be applied to the whole background. And when we let this dry, it's going to dry completely clear. The nice thing about this is that you don't have to have a laminator. You can simply use pressure to apply your foil. So here's a look at how it's going to look after you first do it. It's opaque and white, and once it dries completely, here on the finished one, you can see that it's completely clear. We are going to go ahead and cut our foil using the grid mat and our OLFA grid ruler and the craft knife. I find this an easy way to cut my foil. I measure how big I want my piece. This is simply to the A2 card front size, and then I can trim it down. You do want to apply the foil directly to the piece that you have applied the Duo gel on, and the foil side, the pretty side, is up. Then I'm going to run it through my die cut machine, the same as if I was die cutting. I just have an extra shim there with a piece of paper, and the pressure alone applies the foil, which is so cool. And so everywhere that you've added that Transfer Gel Duo, you're going to get the foil effect. So here's a look at that beautiful background. And then we have the negative left over, and we could come in and use a toner sheet and a laminator with that. Now we have the adhesive transfers. These are really cool as well. I'm using the OLFA scissors, and you just simply pull off that backing from the adhesive transfer. You lightly tap down the transfer on top of the paper. I'm using some Bristol smooth paper. And then you can put it through your die cut machine, the same as we did the foiled piece, or you can put it through the laminator. So I just thought I'd show you both ways. And you can see once I pull that top part off, you have the glue adhered to your background. And I always save that piece of acetate that's printed, and you can use that later. Now we can adhere our foil onto the piece that has the glue. And again, shiny side up. And once you pull this away, you have that beautiful foiled transfer. It really is amazing. And again, you can do this through your laminator or through your die cut machine with the pressure. Here's those toner card fronts I mentioned to use any of your negative bits of foil and your laminator. Now I'm going to bring in the Zebra Click Art markers. I love these markers for watercoloring. You do want to use a smooth paper, so I've got Bristol Smooth. You can also use Vicki Boutin Foundations paper, and Lavinia Stamps has a smooth watercolor paper as well. So I'm just coloring around the edges inside that gold foil, and I'm coloring directly on my image, and then I'm using the water brush to pull the color out. And I'm just doing each section at a time. These are really great markers for, you can draw with them, you can do journaling, and of course I love them for watercoloring. Where you initially apply the color, you're going to get a darker shade, and then once you pull out the color with your water brush, that's going to result in a little bit lighter. I do like to wipe my water brush off in between and just get some lighter areas, so I have some shading and highlights. And this would be the second way of applying the foil with the adhesive transfer. And look at that, it's so beautiful in the light. Now our third way of applying foil to our card, we are going to grab the Easy Cut adhesive sheet. You peel off the backing, this is a double-sided adhesive, and then you apply it to the cardstock that you're going to die cut. So I'm applying it to my foil as well as my purple cardstock. These are both from Prism Studio, and I'm going to die cut some pieces. This is great. A great adhesive to use with any small die cuts, and then your adhesive is on your die cuts. So you can see I'm going to add a little bit of pixie tape here, and that's going to hold the dies in place, and I'm going to run those through my die cut machine. And now when I take off the tape and pull off my dies, I'm going to be able to take the die cuts out, and they're already going to have the adhesive on them. I'm using the Prism Studio reverse tweezers and just applying the letters, the words onto that outline for the thank you sentiment. And then I can apply the outline and the words onto this black background. I've got the iCraft adhesive from Therm O Web. This is the XL tape runner. It does have you can refill it, which is great once it's empty. And I'm just applying that to my card base. The card base is created with Creative Scrapbooker Super Stock cardstock, and it's a top folding card base. And then I'm applying that banner with our sentiment on there. And now I've grabbed the Therm O Web iCraft foam adhesive squares. These are really great adhesive as well, and the backings come off nice and easy, which I like. And then we can just apply this to the front of our card. So we've got the Duo Gel, the adhesive transfers, and the foil cardstock, creating the foil. And then we've got some metallic accents with the Robin's Nest Creative Dewdrops. I felt like these metallic dewdrops really added a nice feature. I have the Ultra Bond adhesive from Therm O Web, and I'm just going to apply those dewdrops with a little bit of this liquid adhesive. So here's a look at our completed card. We have gold and silver and purples and greens in there, nice for spring as well. And I hope that you'll check out some of these fun products and try the really cool Duo Gel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we hope that you have a very crafty day.